Well, a friend of mine the other day got a letter from Congressman Fred Upton, and it's 4 pages long, and it is an appeal for funds, which is amazing to me, because in the last campaign, we spent $80,000, and Congressman Upton spent $1.4 million. And I don't think Congressman Upton has to be very worried that we're going to outspend him this campaign. The point of his letter was that he needs money bad, desperately, even though he is the richest congressman in Michigan. But the vehicle that he uses to try to appeal to people is, when is enough enough? That we have to stop the Democrat, liberal, tax and spend approach. That we have to do something about the deficit, and we have to do something about the national debt. Well, I'm with him on that. We have to do something about the deficit. We have to do something about the national debt. But I totally disagree with him that the answer is that we have to cut essential spending. What we need to do is invest. We have to use our resources to invest in our people. Now, the Republicans are trying to stop the extension of unemployment benefits. This makes no sense to me at all. Right now, for every job that is available, there are 5 people looking for that job. And we know that one of the most important ways to kick up the economy is to continue unemployment benefits. Because the people that receive unemployment benefits aren't going to put them in the bank. They're not going to invest them in stocks. They're not going to go into venture funds. They're going to spend that money, and that's going to kick up the economy. And if you don't extend unemployment, and you have 5 people chasing 1 job, what are you going to do with those other 4? Are you just going to let them starve? Are you going to let them add to the number of homeless people in our country? That makes no sense at all. I believe that we have to invest in people. We have to invest in doing the essential work in our country, rebuilding the physical infrastructure, getting our young people the education and the skills that they need to compete against the international competition. I believe that rather than just concentrate on cutting, we have to invest so that we can help people to be contributing citizens, that they can cut the deficit, that they can pay taxes, and that we can bring the national debt down. Now, Congressman Upton goes on in this letter to say that he learned fiscal responsibility when he worked at the Office of Management and Budget when President Reagan was president. That President Reagan taught him how to be fiscally responsible. I think that was a poor choice of an example. Under President Reagan, the national debt quadrupled. The last year of the Reagan administration, the deficit was $1 trillion. Under President Reagan, 350,000 people lost disability insurance. Under President Reagan, 1 million children were cut from free lunch. For many of them, that was their main meal of the day. When President Reagan started in office, the average CEO was making 40 times what the average worker was making. When President Reagan left office, the average CEO was making 93 times what the average worker was making. Is that the economic model we want to follow? I don't think so. I think we need to use this economy to help our people succeed, to help our nation succeed. I believe that we need to use our resources to invest in our people, to invest in our nation. That's the kind of an economic plan I'm going to fight for when I get to Washington.